I'm talking to Aiden. Aiden was one of my students. What was it, Aiden? It was what, fall 2021, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
we
fall
just finished.
2021.
Yeah, and so I wanted to just speak to Aiden and find out how he enjoyed the course, what he got out of it, and just get his thoughts on it. And before this conversation, I found out that Aiden is not a Montreal Canadiens fan, but he just has. What's the story of that jersey?
My grandpa or my grandparents had this like somewhere in their house, and they sent it to me for a birthday gift. And I mean, like I said, I'm not going to turn down a signed
Yeah,
Patrick Waugh jersey. So
yeah. If you sold it, I'm sure you'd get a lot of.
that thing's probably worth quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's good. Okay, what did you think of the course that we had together? Like, did you find that it was beneficial? Did you find that you learned some interesting concepts? Like, what are your thoughts overall?
Yeah, I definitely thought it was like it was really beneficial to me because like coming out of like high school, I was not exactly like an A student. I was more like mid 70s kind of student, and I didn't really think that was gonna be good going forwards for university. So I definitely think it was beneficial in the long run.
Yeah, great. And I think you did better in high school than I did because I didn't even crack a 70% average. So, and then throughout the semester, I kind of got to know you a little bit, and one of the things that I thought was really good about what you did was that you were you're like a very honest and authentic person. And as we went through the course together, and we don't have to talk about the challenges you faced or anything like that, but I know you had a few challenges. And for people who have challenges at school, whether it's time management problems, whether it's mental health, whether it's any other physical disability and stuff like that, what would you recommend to them? Like how would you actually help them respond to it? Now, again, you can discuss this in any way you want.
Well, I'd say not to like let it hold you down. Like if it's say your mental health or a physical disability or something like that, just don't let it affect your school life. I know that's probably easier said than done, but I think instead of looking at that or looking at it as something that is negative in your life, I'd say kind of use it as motivation to like be better and like prove that you can overcome this whatever you're dealing with or something like that. So I think in terms of the challenges I've faced, that's been a big thing with me is like a lot of people told me what I can and what I won't be able to do, what I can't do and stuff. And I've proven so many people wrong throughout that. And like a lot of the things, I honestly, where I am right now, I probably shouldn't be if you ask the people that were telling me those things. So,
Yeah.
and I guess that's kind of the message I've kind of carried with me throughout it all.
Yeah. So, and when people tell you that you can't do this or you can't do that, what's your mindset? Like, what's going on in your head? Because
Well,
and the reason I'm mentioning this because this was our first conversation that we had, and when you wanted to meet with me and tell me your situation and all that, and I think we had a bit of a conversation, and I was really impressed at how you responded when I asked you. So I think I must have asked you something like, what if people in the past told you, or something like that, and I liked your response. So I was just hoping you could share that.
um, I don't remember specifically what I said, but like originally the thought is like it's like obviously you get that negative feeling and that negative sensation thinking, oh yeah, no, this person's doubting me and stuff, and then you kind of leave that conversation or that interaction, and I think automatically in my head I was like, well, how, like why should I let this person be the judge of what I like, my future and stuff? And I'm ultimately in charge of that, and I think I can do this, so why not at least give it a shot and do my best? And I think that's kind of where I was going with like the message I had originally, but yeah, it's just prove them wrong at all costs.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that attitude. And unfortunately, what happens is a lot of times, whether you're a student or even when you get older, a lot of times people they just believe what other people tell them, right? Like you're not capable, and then they're like, okay, this person is more intelligent, more accomplished than I am, and if they don't think I can do it, then who am I to think I can do it? And what I really thought stood out from you was that you never gave in to that, did you?
No, I definitely did not.
Yeah. And so how did you do that? How did you not give into it? Like, because you're a young kid. Like, how old are you? Like 16, 17,
18.
18, right? So you're 18 years old,
Yeah.
and you don't listen to people when they tell you, hey, you can't do this. Like,
Well, I've I've heard a lot of people in terms of like I've heard a lot of people use excuses as to why I can and can't do this, and I have to like I've dealt with a lot of the same stresses and more stresses in my life, and I kind of look at that as being, why would I put myself in the situation they are, where they're not accomplishing anything really, and using excuses to get out of things, where instead I put all my motivation and all that like negativity and stress into kind of like my mindset going forward, being this stuff is gonna like you're just gonna shut all this out. And I think instead of using what I like my challenges as an excuse, I use it as motivation instead, and that's kind of how I've gotten through it all mostly my whole life.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're a coach too, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So you teach. You're a full-time student as well?
I am a full-time student, yes.
Yeah, so you're full-time.
I'm not currently coaching, but I am a coach in the summertime for sure.
Yeah, and you coach hockey, right? Because that's your thing?
Yes, that is my thing. Hockey is my thing.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that. Yeah, good. Anything else you'd like to share? I really, by the way, I really liked the way you turned adversity into motivation. Is there anything else you would like to share with maybe students that are at university, or maybe even like grade 12 students or anything? Like, and the reason I'm asking for this is because they may have different challenges than you, but I'm always hearing that one student has that problem, this student has another problem, and there's a lot of challenges that your generation faces. So I guess what I'm asking you is, what advice would you give them, and how could you, if you were going to coach them, right? And they're, let's say they were coming into university or something, or maybe they had a bad year or something like that. How would you frame that? What would you say to them? How would you coach them?
If they were having a bad year, how would I coach them?
Yeah, or somebody has told them that, you know what, you don't really have what it takes to get into university, or you don't have what it takes to get the career that you want, or you're not smart enough for this. Like, how would you manage that?
Well, and I'll use this reference just because it's the first thing that came to my head, but one of the movies you told us to watch throughout the semester was Rudy.
Yeah, I'm a movie guy, and my students pay the price for my my movie interest. But I think it was a good movie, and I think it helped you guys. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Rudy, like in the movie, I'm not going to spoil too much if anyone hasn't seen it, but basically that's exactly what happens to Rudy. Is he gets told, you're not good enough for this and this, and then he goes through quite a life altering situation, and instead of using that as like a reason to keep him from achieving what he wants, he uses that and goes out and basically like he writes out his own chapter of his story and creates his own successes. So really, I think the advice I'd give someone is like, you're the author of your own story. You can't let anyone else write your story for you. So if someone comes in and tries to enter their own paragraph into your story, don't let them do that. you're ultimately the author of your story. You're ultimately in charge of what happens, and I think that's a good like message to keep in your head when you're going through university.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wish I was as bright as you are when you were 18. But excellent. I really like what you said. You are the author of your own story, and I really think that when you say that, that means that you'll get people telling you that. Using the same analogy, you'll get people telling you that you're not qualified enough. You're not smart enough to write your own story. You don't have what it takes to write your own story. And I think when people say that to students or whoever, I think you need to understand that you're more capable than you think you are. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
But
Good.
I feel like this class kind of gave me a few tools I can use to keep my motivation up while I'm at home as well. So yeah, I'm definitely glad I had this one in the first semester.
Was there any tools that you liked or anything that stood out or anything that made the class good?
Just like probably speed of implementation.
Yeah.
For sure. I know that one's probably like what everyone says,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I
But it's
think that
true
was
though.
probably,
It's true. It saves you so much, like, stress.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That one probably, because that's the thing I'd never do when I was at home online, is get my stuff done right away.
Yeah. Yeah.